Hi, everyone. Welcome to Base Bible Study. My name is Eric Sayers. I will be the presenter of the set of videos in this series. And in this brief introductory video, I'm just giving you a few thoughts about what Base Bible Study is, what to expect in these videos, and how you might approach what we're going to try and present here. I want to just basically talk a little bit about what we're trying to do here and what you should expect from BASE. BASE is trying to address a few just overarching questions about the Bible. What is its historical context? How did the literature come to us? What is the big picture of the biblical story? And what kinds of literature does the Bible contain? Rather than being an in-depth study of particular books of the Bible, BASE lets us back up several steps and take a holistic look at the entire library of literature in the Bible to get a sense of what kinds of literature we find there, how we can begin to address the different kinds of literature, and how to even get started in thinking about the Bible in a way that mirrors current scholarship and understanding. So a lot of people might benefit, and you might be one of them. If you like to read the Bible a bit, but just don't know where to begin, right? Or it's just something that seems overwhelming and or intimidating. And believe you me, yes, it can be intimidating. And so how do we get started? How do I have a general understanding of what the Bible even is? If you're trying to just get a sense of the big picture, like what kinds of things would I expect to find in the Bible? What kinds of terms, if you've heard terms like prophets and law and gospel, what are they? What do those mean? What's the right way that we think about those things in the church? And if you're interested in getting a little bit behind the scenes, so like when were these things written? In what political and socioeconomic situations were they written? What were the theological, cultural, political events and challenges that were happening at the time when these were written? How were they written and by who? These are all questions that we'll examine in some detail in BASE. There are 10 videos. They're each about 20 minutes long, roughly. You don't have to watch them in order. You can watch them in any particular way. 5 of the videos are about the Old Testament. 5 are about the New Testament. There's an introductory video on the Bible. We talk about the overall Old Testament story, prophets, Psalms, wisdom literature. And then in the New Testament, we talk about the early church, how we understand the early church, how we understand Paul's letters and his ministry. There's 2 videos on the Gospels, and of course, 1 on Revelation at the end. And just a brief word about where all this comes from and who I am and what the overall perspective is of the class and the set of videos. This material is really taken from standard textbooks that a first-year seminary student would encounter in courses like Introduction to the Old Testament or Introduction to the New Testament at a typical Protestant seminary. My faith tradition is United Methodist, so certainly that is the tradition I'm coming from, but many other Protestant traditions share in this general perspective of the Bible. This course grew out of a Bible study, an introductory Bible study class at Glenmar Church in Ellicott City, really trying to address a common problem of biblical illiteracy, where a lot of people coming to church do not have great familiarity with the Bible as a whole. Maybe you've heard a few stories, but how it all fits together is still kind of mysterious and vague. It's exactly that kind of thing that this course was designed to address and help. And a little bit about me, I've been teaching the Bible for 20 years or so in various churches, facilitating small groups. And I happen to be the husband of a marvelous pastor. And, if I get something wrong, she corrects me pretty quickly. So this is really a combination work of many people And I hope it's of meaning to you, and I invite you to participate in any way that makes sense to you, and hope that it's a help to you in your own journey of understanding Scripture.